Dave Palumbo here with Chris the Technician Aceto, and we're here at the 2015 NPC National Championships, and the finals have just wrapped up, Chris, and Sergio Oliva Jr. is now the latest and greatest NPC overall national champion, new IFBB pro, follows in the footsteps of his father, the myth, three-time Mr. Olympia, Sergio Oliva.
Great win for Sergio. It's amazing. Obviously, no one's son has ever won the Mr. Olympia
Or has won the Nationals.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a Freudian slip. Sorry, Sergio Jr. But
that would be amazing, though. Just to fantasize about it. Can you imagine a father-son like Mr. Olympia?
Yeah.
It would be like the presidents, like
Bush 1, Bush 2.
Yeah. Maybe Bush 3 coming up.
Hope not. But I mean, it was a great accomplishment for him, and it is history, and it's a unique aspect. You know, it's a historical aspect of
winning a very tough super heavyweight class in the making. I mean, Sergio Oliva has that just inauthentic, or no, I should say inauthentic, unconventional muscle. He hits shots kind of like Cedric McMillan. He makes up his own poses, and I kind of, you know, Jose Raymond said it best. He's horrible at the mandatories, but yet it works when he puts them all together in a routine.
He said, Jose said the mandatories almost lost the show for him, and the routine, in his eyes, clinched the show for him, which was an amalgamation of all the bad poses, but with a lot of movement to it, like a Kai Green type thing.
Wouldn't you love to see him and Cedric pose down like against each other, like you know how they have these rap-offs?
Oh, Cedric would be insulted that you just mentioned him in the same
I
sentence.
want to see Sergio pose down against Cedric, because I think, you know, it could be close.
Well, interestingly, Lee Labrada, who's known for his posing, came up to me and said, now that he's in the pros, I'm going to work with him on.
He's a very conventional poser, Lee Labrada.
Yeah, I said, Lee, I tried to adjust one thing, and he snapped at me.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I know my position. Just tell him, don't eat anything, don't drink anything.
Well, Sergio reminded me backstage, I'm not going to say who it was, but a company that he was working for before kind of like dismissed him because he asked for some extra product or something like that, and made him seem like insignificant. And he never forgot that. And you know what? I remember him telling me that, and you know what? It's always nice to get the last laugh, so to speak. Winning the overall here tonight. He's obviously working with Labrada Nutrition at his side, and you know, it's a great victory for Labrada. Matter of fact, you know, being in South Beach here, I'm looking around the room and I see all the South Beach celebrities. I see Diana Cadot over there. Maybe we can get her to come into the frame for a second and say hello to us. I know how much you love Diana Cadot. She is the most beautiful woman bodybuilder. That's the title I gave her.
Yeah, I voted.
Yeah, you voted for her. Diana, you know, you haven't competed in a number of years, but you're looking ravishing.
Thank you.
Your waist is just so small. I mean, you have the ideal proportions. Johnny Styles would consider this the ultimate woman. He's trying to push for this new division called wellness, which I think you might fit perfectly in.
Wellness?
Wellness, yeah. It's about having a big booty and big legs and tiny waist, yeah.
All right. Is there a contest for that? I'm in.
It's the Johnny Styles Classic. I think it's going to be taking place in Puerto Rico next year.
Really? I'm in.
You're in.
Sign me in.
Now, this is your hometown. You had the great Diana Cadot Classic here this year in Miami, and it was a raving success, I heard.
Awesome. Yeah.
You're a promoter. You're a businesswoman now.
Exactly. So next year, actually, I'm going to bring it in Miami at the Fillmore.
Wow. Now you're really big time.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of Sergio Oliva Jr. winning this overall?
Well, I think, yeah, he worked hard for it. So
is he better? You think he could be better than his dad?
Maybe. He still have some work to do, but eventually
Would you consider dating him?
No.
No, not your type, huh?
I can't.
Chris is your type, though, right?
No, I'm
smart guy.
Somebody, sorry.
Oh, you are. All right, she's unavailable. All right, well, Diana, thank you so much, and it's very good seeing you. And we'd love to see you when we're in Miami. All right, back to the show, Chris. Now, let's talk about the rest of the super heavyweight class, because there was some shocking. Obviously, your other client, you had the two winners, by the way, of the super heavyweight class, so you were one guru of the week.
Yeah, even if
maybe of the year.
Even if I did, well, you know, speaking of the year,
Eddie Bergamonte, by the way, winning the second place.
I did actually. I swear, I needed a nickname for Cody, and I you know. People like the teen this, the new that.
Barely legal freak.
Barely legal freak. And I said, let me just go something that's ridiculous. And I started calling him the White Myth. Before I ever met Sergio,
Oh, really?
I've always called him the White Myth. So now there's the White Myth, and there's the Myth's son, And I think, Cody, that had Sergio showed up like this at the USA, dude, you would have been in trouble. And
Wow,
you probably wouldn't have gotten that pro card, dude. So you owe me.
Eddie Breccamonte, second place here, but and he's worked his ass off, and he deserves that pro card. But maybe the star of the show is Rashid Oldraker, who finishes in the 5th position to the boos of the crowd. Obviously, I had mentioned to you, I was working with him. He had a little bit of a water issue on Friday. Came back here dry as a bone tonight. I mean, scary looking. Ronnie Coleman-esque muscle, huh?
Yeah, he will win pro shows. And I told you yesterday that the most comforting part of the prejudging for me in the supers when he was moved to the edge of the stage, meaning like in a not top 2 position, because I think that even though yesterday he wasn't as like nailed and dialed in as he was today, because today was like beyond on the money. Yesterday he was close, and when they moved him over, I sighed a sigh of relief because I thought he would have pushed Eddie hard and he would have pushed Sergio hard. That being said, he came back here tonight, and I mean, he looked like freakazoid.
A lot of talent in that super heavyweight class here tonight. Charles Griffin winning the heavyweight class, Chris. Another tough battle. Wasn't as deep as we've seen it in the past. I think that, it was pretty closely contested, but I think Griffin had the most of everything. A lot of conditioning, a lot of muscle, good shape. Will he be a good pro in your estimation?
Will he be a good pro? He will have to decide where he's going to go as a pro. Does he come down to the 212, right? Or does he, stay?
I don't think that guy's got a lot of muscle.
Yeah, and I don't think the problem is I don't think he can make the 212 without giving up fullness. So I think that he's forced to battle it out with bigger bodybuilders, and I think that although like on stage he looked unbelievable by himself, I think that when going against, let's say, an Eddie, he'd struggle to some degree because there's just more of him, more muscle, more, more condition.
He's an IFBB pro, and he wins that heavyweight class. Nick Medici wins the light heavyweight class. Former teen national champion, disappeared for a little bit, won the Eastern USA 2 weeks ago, and Chris comes in here. Not a spectacular light heavyweight class. Not
surprising.
We didn't see a lot of conditioning in that class. And you know what? At the prejudging yesterday, the lights went out.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy they rejudged the class. We had mentioned that in the wrap-up that it would be a good idea to rejudge. They did rejudge, and Nick comes out on top. Not only gets the pro card, but gets the win, gets to pose in that overall. We've seen this a lot. Dominic Cardone last year.
New Yorkers, all Long Islanders.
And now he's now Nick Medici
keeping it in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
I thought the class was on the weaker side, which surprised me. I just thought when you have a weight class to make, you can have some guys who are going to be like inside out peeled, and nobody like stood out there, so it was hard for me to judge. And by default, and I don't mean that in a totally negative way, but by default, I went with Nick because he was the best of what was up there on stage that day.
I agree.
And I think that, somebody like ultra peeled could have really leapfrogged from like a 12th position all the way up to like a top 5 position easy. Just because nobody was peeled.
Well,
in,
Nick
like,
was
peeled in the
Nick
class.
was the dark horse, really, because no one expected him. He hasn't been on the national scene. He comes in here, tremendous chest, shoulders, arms, all the good showy body parts. The back,
got the showy body parts.
Yeah.
So
legs still need to come up a little bit, and the conditioning was weird because he was flat, but yet he was still holding water a little bit.
No, it was interesting on the back double bicep. He had the really tight glutes and hams, and yet the back was holding water.
Yeah, it was like the water was not spread out.
The northern
right.
hemisphere was holding water. The southern was peeled.
It must be a full moon.
Yeah.
Now, in the middleweight class, David Robinson, no relation to the basketball player, wins that class. We equated him to like a Dexter Jackson almost. He kind of was a little unconventional up there also, and maybe he could have been a little tighter, but the judges like that. He has that potential. You can see this guy as a future 212 star for certain.
Absolutely. He's got. I saw him at the USA, and I was tremendously impressed with the flow, the balance, the shape, the tie-ins. And it looks like, and his support team, he has like 1 million people in the audience screaming for him. And I think he improved from the USA to here in that he had what appeared to be 2 or 3 pounds more muscle, maybe a couple, but on his frame, it just looked like a lot more than that, and which I thought allowed him to really dominate the class.
He didn't, I didn't think the middles were that good until I really took a good look at them tonight, and they were very impressive. And I thought he was super
there was
impressive.
a lot of conditioning,
and it was a close victory for him there in that class. Let's talk about Theodore Atkins Jr., who wins the welterweight. As a matter of fact, he's sitting on the couch over there. Maybe he can come over and say hello if he can get off his phone for a second. But Theodore Atkins, also probably won one of the most difficult classes in the contest.
Yes, here he
Say hello. Come over here for a second. Give me a quick most muscular. We're going to interview you after. Welterweight champion, new pro, man.
Hey, man, how you guys doing out there?
There you go.
We are the champions.
All right, man. All right, get out of the way. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Great sport. He's been doing this for a while now. And couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Welterweights are really a tough class. The welters and the lightweights might have had the most depth.
Yeah, the welters and the lightweights, they were guys who were peeled who did not make the top 5. And the quality of the top 5, I thought, was probably the best quality that I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years, for sure.
Speaking of the lightweight class, which, it was absolutely the most depth, without a doubt. Jose Fortuna wins this. This guy looks like he could have challenged Theodore Atkins in that welterweight class. He's got a lot of dense muscle.
I thought that...
That's Don Long's guy.
He was absolutely tremendous, smoldered the class, and it was a class, it was the best lightweight class I've seen in absolute years. People who definitely didn't come anywhere close to the top 5, meaning 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, on any other good year could have been probably 3rd. The top 3 or the top 5 were all outstanding, and the winner was just, I thought just smoked the class. Was incredibly impressive in terms of density, hardness, condition, clear winner, and he'll be competitive in some 212 shows. I think he'll get some call-outs.
I agree, and you know what? He might go to Classic Physique. Remember, next year's Classic Physique, you're going to see a lot of these welters, welters, lightweights, and bantamweights going down and getting into that Classic Physique division. I know Derek Farnsworth contacted me. We talked about that. Here's another division for these guys because they got the good symmetry, they got the small waist, and they can fit into that height-weight category.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the wrap-up here in Miami next year at probably like 4 a.m. because adding another class, we'll have the men's Classic Physique next year, probably 40, 50 people in the class. Guaranteed. And we're going to be excited about it because, like you said,
they get the pose.
And there's flexibility for people who coming out of men's physique, and we have people who are going to be coming out of bodybuilding, or who might win a lightweight or welterweight nationals at USA and say, I don't want to do the 212s because the 212 guys are 218 guys or 220 shrunken down to 212. So I think it's a great fit, and I'm looking forward to it.
Let's talk about men's physique. Raymond Edwards wins that. Very much of an unknown, and I'll tell you why, because he's from Pittsburgh. Jim Mannion didn't know him. He goes, how do I not know someone in Pittsburgh?
Crazy.
Talk about dark horses. I was so impressed with these men's physique guys. I want to see who's going to go to Classic next year and who's going to stay in the regular men's physique, because these guys look like they could all cross over. I don't know if they have legs, all of these guys.
I think you're going to see a lot of people bolt. You know what I mean? There's still going to be men's physique there, but you sit and you watch a men's physique show, and there is excitement, and they don't do nothing, right? So, in other words, there's guys itching to get up there and do more than just.
We're itching to watch them do something.
No, of course, because there's a lot of the men's physique guys have stellar conditioning and tremendous development, and we're just going to have to peel away those board shorts and see if anyone's a bodybuilder under there. Classic bodybuilder.
I think a lot of these guys train. Let's talk about women's physique, where Stacia Woods wins that. She is in the Class C division. She beats a bigger girl, comes in here with, once again, you and I say it time and time again, conditioning wins shows. Conditioning wins shows, and even in women's physique, guess what? Conditioning wins shows.
Well, there's the fatigue factor, judges. I'm not saying judges get fatigued and can't judge and just say, well, I got to go for condition. But when you're trying to work through and make distinctions between who's better, there is only one choice at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If there's two people who are really good and they might be close in shapes and this and that, your eye's going to be turned to the person who's got condition, whether it's men's physique, women's bodybuilding, women's physique here, or open men's bodybuilding. So you're right, condition wins show, and that's what gave her the win. Congratulations to Stacia.
Let's talk about women's bodybuilding, where there was a huge upset where Holly Pisarcik wins not only the lightweight at 109 pounds, Chris, she wins the overall, beating some terrific bodybuilders in the process. She's only been training for 1 year. She's done 2 shows, and she is an IFBB pro bodybuilder with an overall title under her belt. It's almost unfathomable.
It's unfathomable, but I spoke to her. She's got that incredible athletic background of having played the flute in the marching band.
She's in the marching band.
No, because I figured that, she's been training for a year, so I asked her, what's your athletic background? I thought she would say gymnastics, track and field. She said, I was in the marching band.
I heard she's from Maryland. She's from Glen Burnie, Maryland, where Kevin Levroni's from. I heard that she once had a blood transfusion from Kevin Levroni, and that might be why
she drinks the toxic water, which probably inhibits myostatin or something.
Something like that. So congratulations to Holly. Let's talk about the figure overall winner, Tanika Irvin, who also another one who's out of nowhere training a year.
But not from Pittsburgh.
No, not from Pittsburgh, and she just dominates. Once again, I hate to keep repeating myself, but guess what? Conditioning wins shows. Do you know that she was in last place last year?
Are you serious?
In the figure division, and she moved up and won not only her class D, she wins the overall. I remember her on stage, she had feathered quads. I mean, just impressive, super impressive.
And we just went through this debate with someone, me and the white myth, Cody Montgomery, in terms of can people really get ripped? She's the example. I wish I could have, he was kind of fighting with me.
Guess what? And it's her birthday today, too. What a great birthday present.
Enjoy the birthday cake.
Reminds me of the Mike Francois when he won the Arnold Classic on his birthday.
That's right. And he won $125,000, and I got a nickel out of it.
I thought I was going to say 25 cents, actually.
No, happy birthday to you. You deserved the win.
Let's talk about the bikini overall, where Alyssa Gurmarth wins in bikini. She was a yoga instructor. She saw a picture of Jamie Eason online, and she said, I think I could look like that. I want to look like that. So she started training. She was very skinny. She even tried the whole vegan route for a while. It didn't work very long. And now she's an IFBB pro with an overall bikini title. Beautiful girl. I mean, it just goes to show you. It looks like we're prejudging it. Just goes to show you that if you put your mind to something, Chris, you can accomplish anything. She did it in less than a year.
I love to hear these type of stories where people just come out of the woodwork, or they've been training 1 year. Their level of dedication is it's motivating, even though I don't know what it motivates me.
She did 5 shows this year. She had 2 overalls. This was her 3rd overall. And I mean, just getting started. Come on. I get mad. It really irks me because I know how long you and I had to compete, and we never even got pro cards.
To get smoked.
Yeah, to get smoked. Exactly. Talks about genetics and what you're given and your work ethic.
That's right. Well, I mean, work ethic always is something that.
It's good when you have a work ethic with the genetics.
Yeah, that would be a Coleman.
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman. Yeah.
Or Cutler. So, you got to work with the cards that you dealt, but it's nice to be dealt the right hand, and it's also nice to have the mental ability to be able to set goals and reach them on a short-term and long-term basis. So congratulations to her, another stellar athlete. History is made again here in Miami, Florida, where the myth, or the son of the myth, Sergio Oliva Jr. wins the men's bodybuilding super heavyweight and overall, as well as the Steve Stone, what is it, the Steve Stone Friendship Award or something like that? It's the Steve Stone, Friendship Award, and I was accused of being a sore winner, by the way. Oh, were you? Yeah, because I was backstage complaining that at the prejudge, and they shouldn't have compared him. I thought, Sergio, I had you winning, so why'd they even compare you like that last call? I'm just kidding. Heard you were trying to play business manager to him too. I heard Bleckman gave him $5 to not interview with anyone. Yeah, so we can't interview him, even though we spend the whole weekend in his room laughing until Tuesday. Yeah, until Tuesday. We'll get the interview on Tuesday. He'll come on the radio show. Well, Chris, it's been a great year, and I'm proud to say that I got to wrap things up with you here at the end of the year in Miami, Florida, down the block from your condo. We won't be seeing any more bodybuilding until 2016, where we come back to the Arnold Classic, and we see who will be challenging for that. We'll be there in 15 weeks. It's maybe Sergio Oliva will be there. I don't know about that, but we'll be there in 15 weeks. That's right. For now, though, I am Dave Palumbo with Chris the Technician Aceto signing off. We'll see you in 2016.